the American team in the dark blue shirts coming out. And then, of course, the People's Republic of China in the red. And you can hear the crowd as Team USA takes to the field. The United States came in to tonight's competition with an opportunity, a chance, and maybe 8 gold medals in tonight's competition as well as tomorrow night's compound competition. They lost an opportunity to pick up that bronze earlier on when the women were defeated by the Chinese team, but now Team USA with a chance to get it done tonight. Joe Fanchin, Brady Ellison, and Jake Kaminski. And they don't get that kind of ovation many places they go, do they?
No, this home field advantage is really nice to have for the team from the USA.
Now for the Chinese, Chen, Wenyuan, Dai Zhizheng, and Yu Xing will be the shooters from the People's Republic of China. And there's a good look at their coach as we get set for competition. And of course, the leader of this squad is Brady Ellison. Team USA defeated Mexico 226 to 221 in the quarterfinals, then defeated the men from the Ukraine 229 to 226. The Chinese reaching this point by defeating Canada 227 to 215, and also got past India's squad of shooters 227 to 222. So that's how these teams arrived at this point here tonight.
And we'll see the Chinese archers get really emphatic and really into their shooting. They definitely have a lot of power and a lot of passion going into their shots. Team US is on the line first with Jake Kaminski. All 3 of these archers shooting full-time at the Resident Athlete Center in Chula Vista, California, training for the Olympics.
Jake was 17th this week in the men's individual recurve, and he gets the party started with a 9. Now it's Joe Fanchin.
We're going to see a little bit of a slow shot with Joe Fanchin. He's been working on some form tweaks and changes a little bit, but for sure he's been getting the job done to bring the U.S. men to the gold medal match. 8 just low.
Almost on that line, but not quite. And here is Brady Ellison, ranked number 1, and shooting with that pink bow.
Brady with a 9. And that pink bow is Brady's little symbol to show that he is in the fight for breast cancer. So a portion of his winnings that he wins at every tournament will go to breast cancer, which is a really courageous thing for Brady to do.
$8,300 raised so far in his Shoot for the Cure. Now, the People's Republic of China getting off to a great start with a 10. Team USA posting 26 points with the first 3 shots. Now the second shot of the first end. Off the mark a little bit.
Both of China's first 2 arrows a little low on the target, so we'll see if that changes. Well, it should change later on in this match, but that could just be the difference from the practice field to the main field in terms of conditions. Everything will be the same. It's going to all be 70 meters away, and that's a 9 or an 8. It's on the line, but the scorers and spotters are calling it as a 9. And now it's Team USA's turn for their final 3 arrows of this first end.
So China taking an early 1-point lead, but we are still in the first end of this gold medal shootout.
A little bit of a wild shot from Jake Kaminski right there. Now Joe Fanchin. There's an interesting story about Jake Kaminski that I'll tell you during the scoring. But Joe Fanchin on the line right now for Team US.
Look at this.
$10 points. That's a solid shot.
You could tell when he let it go. He knew.
Exactly.
He knew.
15 seconds left on the clock for Brady Ellison. That's plenty of time for this shooter.
Brady out of Arizona. Pleasing his contingent of fans here in Ogden, Utah. This is almost like being at home for him.
I know he has a lot of family out here to watch him shoot. Team China now up on the line.
A lot easier to drive up to Ogden, Utah than fly to Croatia or
to Shanghai
or Istanbul.
Team China can take a 3-point lead here. That's the first step.
They seem intent on doing that.
Second shot from China is a 9, so best they can do it now is a 2-point lead, provided they shoot a 10 on this last arrow.
And the final arrow of this first end with 3 seconds to go on the clock, and he lets it go with 1 second to go.
Wow, amazing shooting from China. Even though they were in a really tight time situation.
Clock running down.
You only get about 20 seconds per arrow. There's 2 minutes to shoot 6 arrows, which is quite a difference from when you shoot the individual qualification round. You get 4 minutes to shoot 6 arrows. So cutting your time in half really speeds things up, not only for our viewers' purposes, but could mess with some of the archers' heads.
I was going to say, does it lead to a little bit of irritation within the team itself if somebody's taking too much time?
No, it can't. You can't let other teammates irritate you. It's gonna be more like you're gonna see your teammates pushing you along. Now with the story with the American archer Jake Kaminski is about a month ago, or even 2 months ago, his car was broken into and all of his equipment was stolen. So for an archer, changing bows, especially during the middle of your main season, that's a huge thing to do. Even though you buy the same bow model, it can feel really different. So for Jake to change all of his equipment and come out here and come out to the gold medal match again is really, really a good thing for him. But you know, sometimes you just can't get the equipment tuned or tweaked just the way you like it. But he's done that, and scoring has been official and confirmed. Team USA with 54 points and Team China with 56 points.
You try taking Derek Jeter's bats away. See what happens.
I think a bat will be flying my way.
Yeah, I think a bat would be flying your way. Yeah. All right, so Team USA down by 2 as we start the second end. And Jake Kaminski using that new bow that Crispin Duenas just told us about.
Obviously not affecting him.
No. I think he's made the adjustment.
I think so.
And quite nicely. So a good start to the second end for Team USA. Joe Fanchin lining it up. And another 10.
10 points. That's inside the X ring, which is used to break ties and world records, but right now it's only used for score.
So let's see if Brady Ellison can keep this thing rolling. Almost.
Just a little high, which is where Brady's last arrow was. It was high in the 10 ring, so you know, conditions are changing on the field and stuff could be happening that the archers might be affected by, but more often than not, they're not going to be affected.
China had a 2-point lead to start the second end. And that one's on the line, it would appear.
9 or 8. Spotters call it a definite 8, but I think that they're going to be taking a closer look at that downrange when scoring happens.
That could open the door for Team USA to get back in. But that 10.
10 points for China. Unofficially, China could take a 1-point lead after the next arrow.
Chen, Wenyuan. Cool, calm, collected, but shoots an 8.
Now that he spent a little bit more time at full draw than would be comfortable. And as I said in some previous matches, the longer you spend at full draw, the more time you literally have to mess up. Jake Kaminski on the line now.
With Team USA now up by 1, 83-82.
Unofficially, 9 points for Jake.
Let's go, Joe.
Joe Fanchin, who lost in the individual recurve men's competition just the other day to his teammate Brady Ellison, but now teaming with Brady and coming up with a 10.
Fanchin shooting his last arrow for this end. It's on the line, but definitely in. Now Ellison.
Let's go, Brady.
10 seconds left. Shot's gone. It's an X. Dead center.
Smack dab in the middle. And Ellison is pumped up, and so are his teammates.
Best China can do now is tie.
Need 3 10s to do it.
They do. And now China could be in a 1-point deficit.
Possibly more. Unless the last 2 shooters can put it in the middle of the target.
It's a 9 or an 8. It's a little too close to call, but the spotters are calling it a 9 officially. So best China can do now is a 2-point deficit.
So it's down to Chen now, who has plenty of time. As you see the clock provided by Longines.
That's a 9. So China taking a 3-point deficit to the team from the United States of America.
Team USA looking for its first medal tonight here in the recurve competition.
Women's team from China has already walked home with a medal. And the crowd really, really supporting the team from the United States of America.
It's got to be music to the ears of Brady Ellison and Joe Fanchin and Jake Kaminski and the rest of the Americans who compete overseas most of the time. Of course, they were in Torino last month for the World Championships. And there you see the team from the People's Republic of China trying to compose itself, only down by 3.
At the halfway mark, so
Right.
It's still anybody's game technically. But we have to think about what could be going on through the shooters of Team America's heads, just because they've got all of the support behind them from the home crowd. But once again, it's only 3 points, so it's still anybody's game. There's the women's compound team from Team US.
Providing the moral support.
And the audible support.
And the audible support, yes.
Team China on the line to shoot the first arrows of this third end.
Just spectacular scenery here in Ogden. Of course, spectacular scenery everywhere the World Cup goes, whether it's Croatia or Turkey or Shanghai. Here in Ogden, it's the Wasatch Mountains that provide the backdrop. And there's a 9 for Team China.
Yeah, the scenery that these archers have seen before in the past World Cups have been beaches. So in Croatia, it has been a beach, very, very white beach, I might add. And in Turkey, a beach as well with a castle on it.
The 8 will not help the People's Republic of China.
And those low arrows could be characteristic of the moisture and the coolness of the air that's encroaching now because the sun going down. So that will always make your arrows hit low.
And a little bit high that time, but still inside the ring for a 9. Would altitude play any factor at all, Crispin?
Definitely altitude does play a factor depending on where you're coming from and where you're going.
We're about 4,200 feet here in Ogden.
So generally all of their arrows will be hitting a little higher than what they are hitting at home unless you're from here.
Kaminski, on the line, you think?
9 or an 8. I think it's on the line. I think it just caught it. And the spotters are calling it a 9, so we'll trust their judgment on that one. Fanchin on the line.
Fanchin's been strong here in this gold medal shootout.
A little bit of a long hold, and we can see the wind picking up a little bit on the field of play. 7 does not help them at all, but still could gain a 3-point lead with a 10 from Ellison.
Look at the concentration. You could hear somebody in the crowd scream out, "I love you," right before he let it fly, and he didn't flinch a bit.
Oh no, when Brady's starting to shoot well, nothing
He's
can
locked
get
in.
him. Yes.
That's an important shot after the 7.
Again, a low arrow beside his first arrow, moving his sight just to compensate for the low shots. Mr. Dai, 9.
So a 9, an 8, a 9, 9, 9, and now the 6th and final shot of this end.
Plenty of time for Mr. Chen. That's an 8. Still high up near his first arrow. So each archer shooting consistently, grouping within themselves on the target.
So an opportunity for Team USA to put a little bit more daylight between themselves and the Chinese team.
Could possibly take a 7-point lead with 3 10s. That's a 10, and Jake knew it as soon as he came off that line.
High fives, Joe Fanchin, who steps up to the line, says, "Go get him, big fella."
Let's go, Joe.
That's a 10. Makes up for that 7 that he shot in the first 3-arrow pass of this end. Now, Brady Ellison, possible 7-point lead to take here. 7 seconds left to the shot. That's a 10.
There you go. That's how you finish it up. 4 10s. Sharp shooting by Team USA. And the crowd loves it here at Lindquist Field in Ogden, Utah. So Ellison, Fanchin, and Kaminski coming up strong so far.
168 points unofficially out of 180 versus Team China's 161. Still good shooting, but Team USA taking a commanding lead after 3 ends. Going into the final end, 7 points for Team China to make up on Team USA.
It would take almost a complete collapse, wouldn't it, for Team USA to lose this medal?
That's for sure. And knowing Team USA,
Not likely.
They don't collapse under pressure. But again, we've seen points come around and leads just get lost by any number of things, whether it be a team shooting really, really well or a team just, you know, cracking a little bit under the pressure. I don't foresee that happening here with the Team US with their home field advantage, or home crowd advantage, I should say.
Both, I think. And speaking of the field, it is almost completely now in the shadows as the sun continues to set out in the western desert, just to the west of Lindquist Field. And we're getting set for the 4th and final end of this gold medal match between Team USA and China in the men's recurve competition. And of course, China will shoot first.
Yep, the team that is trailing will shoot first, just to kind of put pressure on the team that's in the lead, just so that they will be shooting last.
And you can see the lights have been turned on here at Lindquist Field now.
It is getting dark. It's almost 8:15 here now. Team China's first shot is a 10.
10. How often do you shoot under the lights?
Only at World Cups, I gotta say, because we don't have any facilities back where I train where we would shoot under any lights, and by then the mosquitoes are out to kill. That's an 8. Definitely last year there were lots of shooters shooting under the lights at this venue, and sometimes you'll see it play a little bit of a factor on left and right impacts on the target, and that's just to do with string alignment. When the archer pulls the string back to their face and they get to full draw like we see here, they're lining up the string sometimes with their riser or the bow so that it's always perfectly aligned left in regards to left to right. Sometimes with a low lighting, that can't be the case. Sometimes your string might disappear. Sometimes you might see too much of it. So it's depending on what the archer has set their bow up to perform as.
So this is definitely not the norm, though.
No, it's not.
Kaminski.
8 high. And we've seen a couple arrows pop out high for the men from the U.S.
Of course, the USA has a little bit of a cushion to work with right now.
7-point cushion. Now it's a 6-point cushion.
Joe Fanchin doesn't want to take any chances. Like to nail that one. Got an 8. And so now Brady Ellison can finish it off. Well, we have 3 more arrows after that, but
Sorry, now it is a 6-point cushion. But all the U.S. needs to do is shoot a 5.
And they get a 9
and that's
from
a
Brady.
9. Not one of Brady's strongest shots, but still good enough to give them a 5-point lead going into the final 3 arrows of this gold medal match. Team China on the line. Nine points just out. It's beside his first arrow.
Xing with that shot.
Mr. Dai shooting a 9. Final arrow by Mr. Chen. Final arrow is a 10. On the line, but it's in. 216 points unofficially for Team China. And Team USA.
What, 24 points to win this?
That's correct.
24 points is all Team USA needs right now. With 3 shots to go. Kaminski gets
That's
10 of the 24.
203 points. 2 more arrows to go. Fanchin on the line. Fanchin, 9 points.
Strong shot. So the USA, which won a gold medal at the first stage in Croatia, 1 shot away.
Blue or better will take the gold medal. 10 seconds left. It's an 8.
A safe shot for Brady Ellison.
And the USA wins the gold medal match. 220 points to Team China's 216.
And the crowd enjoys it here at Lindquist Field as Team USA exchanges handshakes with their counterparts from the People's Republic of China. China got off to a 2-point lead in the first end, but then Team USA turned it around in the second end and just pulled away. And there you see the score for Team China. And a great shot of the crowd here at Lindquist Field. Good turnout here on a Friday night in Ogden, Utah for this 3rd stage of the Archery World Cup.
Who would have thought these people would have been coming to a baseball stadium to watch arrows being flung? So this is definitely a treat for a lot of the local people here in attendance, and for many of the other shooters from around the world to see the best archers on the field of play right now, shooting for their countries and going for gold.
No question about it. This is a golden opportunity for folks in this part of the world to come out and see competitors and athletes of this caliber. And as we said, many of these faces that we're seeing we'll see in London next year at the 2012 Summer Olympic Games. So the gold medal goes to Team USA, 220 out of 240 possible points. They win by 4 points over the People's Republic of China. And so the first medal for Team USA.